Ren Wadsworth reports.
The elk fire blazes behind me, and even as it does, a community bands together to help keep those fighting fires on the front lines fed.
At first glance, it may look like a distant cityscape, but the pinprick lights are what is visible of a fire stretching over 50,000 acres in northern Wyoming.
Weeks of work have gone into cleaning up the Stillwater train derailment, and now crews are working further down the Yellowstone River to remove materials like this from downstream of the incident. The temperature outside is around 88 degrees. But here inside the car, you can see there's a 25 to 30 degree difference. In the early hours of Tuesday morning, the storefront of Billings Power Sports was ripped off by 2 burglars. They then stepped inside of the store and stole 3 dirt bikes before fleeing the scene, all in under 5 minutes. Tree roots that have been completely lifted out from the ground because of those strong winds. And I'm gonna move to the side now, but this used to be somebody's house behind me that has been completely obliterated, again, by those strong winds. Winter weather can easily impede our travels, but for one Billings family, heavy snow trapped their transportation.
We have a breaking update in the standoff in Sheridan as Ren Wadsworth is at the scene for us tonight. That's gone on for more than 24 hours now. Ren, what's the latest?
Trivia, a standoff that took hours and over a day ended very quickly within a few seconds. Nearly 3 weeks have passed since Sergeant Nevada Krinke was tragically killed in the line of duty. Today, he was laid to rest here in Sheridan, but won't be forgotten by the close-knit community he leaves behind. These locks could be the difference in a disaster taking place in your home or not, and are available for free to the Magic City public. After a journey of thousands of miles, 3 teens are finally laid to rest at home in the Fort Belknap Indian Reservation, more than 100 years after they passed. For any number of reasons, a person might rent a storage unit to keep their belongings safe and secure. But what happens when that security and those belongings are stolen? Caitlin Yates was told by doctors that if she tried for pregnancy, it could be fatal. But instead, her wish to become a mother came true beyond her wildest dreams. Students are learning at an early age the dangerous impacts of substance abuse with firsthand experience using goggles just like these. Here along the beautiful rims. But Karen, we're here, we're walking, we're talking. Tell us a little bit more about what Walk the Bridge is. There's a superhero wandering the streets of Billings, but their power is helping others with a hot, handmade meal. Here at the Big Sky Reptile Expo, they're showcasing the wide world of cold-blooded companions. These services are popping up the second week of September, starting on the 11th, and then it's up to residents to sort through their trash and put everything where it belongs. Dozens of children took to the streets and participated in a parade that let them control the lights and sirens of emergency vehicles. And while Heritage Park is just starting to kick up dirt, a huge pile has formed fit for excavation and extraction. Trick-or-treating at assisted living facilities and retirement homes, helping lift the spirits of residents who live there. And after putting the lid on securely, the shelter is ready to set and forget and can help keep kitties warm all winter as long as the straw inside stays dry and clean. What would you do if a police officer pulled you over and gave you a turkey instead of a ticket? Now we're hoping to see a lot of these guys at the parade today, but we're just not sure, are we guys? So we'll have to wait and see. I'm Ren Wadsworth. Back to you, John! This farm returns each fall season to delight kids of all ages and adults who are kids at heart. But there's more than meets the eye, or rather ear, here at Grandpa's farm. To ensure Lavina kids have enough beef to eat for a full year and maybe a bite more. Ren Wadsworth, NonStop Local.
The town of Reed Point, population 90, plus a sheep or 200.
Almost all funds from the sheep drive go directly back to the town of Reed Point for local businesses and future projects. And the For Fun family-run fall farm attraction is now open Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights until the end of October. Ren Wadsworth, NonStop Local. So if you're looking for some witching fun, grab your pointiest hat and something to float on. No brooms required. In Billings, I'm Ren Wadsworth, Montana, right now.
It's just something I absolutely love being a part of.
And with some time and training, soon your options are sky high. Ren Wadsworth, NonStop Local.
This is the last call for Officer Joshua Briese, batch 1588. 1588. Negative contact with 1588. All units be advised Officer Briese ended his watch on June 1st, 2024.
He could have been anything other than police, but he knew what he wanted to be. He wanted to take his father's footsteps in doing that police career and things. And even though he had these other opportunities, he came to us all the way from Montana to Arizona and came to Gila River Police Department. And then we put him through the academy. He graduated. He was getting ready to get off of a field training program and go out as a solo officer and different things like that.
Leave me wishing still for one more day with you. One more day, just one more time, and one more sunset.
I tell my staff he had all these opportunities to not do police work, but he chose and continued to march on to that and do police work. So we got to make sure that we honor him in that capacity, that we got to finish the job that he had started.
Officer Joshua Briese, we thank you for your dedication, loyalty, and service to the members of the Gila River Indian community. Your sacrifice for the badge will never be forgotten. You will never be forgotten. Your final shift is complete. Rest easy, Officer Briese. Your brothers and sisters in blue will take it from here.
A parent's worst nightmare seemed to come to life for two Billings mothers who were called by unknown in-state numbers.
And who's calling?
And while their experiences were years apart, they were eerily similar.
They said they had my daughter and my grandson, and then I heard what I thought was her in the background, "Help me, Mama, help me, Mama."
It was my daughter's voice. She said, "Mom, I messed up. I need your help," whatever it was, and then she was crying.
The callers told the women that their children had been hurt, and that if they did everything that they were told to do, nothing else would happen to their loved ones.
When you're in that kind of situation, I did kind of shut down. You know, I had one thing on my mind, and that was doing what they said.
Both Stacy and Jules said they sprung into action and began to meet the requests of the mystery men on the other end of the line, all the while hearing what they believed was the voices of their daughters. Initially, the women were asked for upwards of $1,000 for the safe release of their loved ones. However, Jules says the men over the phone were content to take what she had. But what the women didn't know at the time was that their loved ones had never actually been a victim of anything. Instead, Jewel and Stacy were victims of what the FBI has named virtual kidnappings, a new form of phone ransom scams. Stacy was stopped from transferring money at her bank. However, Jewel was told to take the money she had withdrawn from Walmart to another location with a money transfer service, specifically a store called Colima de Mi Amor, where the owners say money transfers like this are fairly common, and they had no idea about the situation at hand.
If I've been aware, believe me, I will help her. But she was, for me, she was okay.
Iris, everything is correct?
Yeah, it looks good, yeah. She was calm. That's the reason I didn't ask many questions. She told me like she needs help, or because we have a phone number that we can call. Somebody is a scam, so I will help her.
The owners of the store added that they feel frustrated at unknowingly playing a part in a scam And as parents themselves say, their hearts go out to the families whose ties are being extorted by scammers. Despite transferring just under $300 to a bank account in Mexico, Jules says she ended up relieved the entire situation was fabricated.
Honestly, I'm just happy that my daughter is okay. Like, it's a couple $100.
This year so far, the Montana Office of Consumer Protection reports 9 instances of reported ransom scams in the state, some of which utilized AI technology and likely take sound from social media before plugging it into an artificial voice producer online. And the FBI say it's becoming increasingly hard for even them to tell the difference between the real and the artificial.
AI is becoming a problem for law enforcement for this very reason. We've seen it in presidential politics where certain candidates' voices are spoofed, and it's hard to tell that you're not hearing from one of the candidates, right? And if your child or your relative's voice has been captured and ran through these AI programs, it could be hard to tell whether that's your actual child or not. That obviously is very stressful to the victims, but exercise of common sense and patience and trying to verify what is being told to you, either through direct contact with the person that you believe to be in trouble, family members, other associates of theirs, try to determine, right, is this something that could actually be happening?
It is also highly encouraged to reach out to law enforcement with any suspicious activity. Special Agent Cox says that ransom scams and virtual kidnappings are historically unreported crimes. And both the Billings women observed this may be due to the embarrassment felt by those who have fallen prey to scams.
But I never did report it. The only people that ever knew about it was my husband and my daughter. I felt really stupid.
Honestly, I was embarrassed immediately. I didn't even know if I wanted to report it. But then I just thought, I never thought I was the type of person to believe this stuff. But with their voice, it's not about believing anything. It's your child in danger.
Ren Wadsworth, NonStop Local.
Ren, wow, first of all, my goodness gracious. What do you want to talk about here? Because there's so many different elements. One, the embarrassment level and not reporting. I mean, honestly, that's something that personally I could understand.
Definitely, yeah. Both Stacy and Jewel were telling me, they felt really silly. They felt really ashamed. They had let, a mistake like this happen. But the more they talked about it, the more they really pushed and said, despite how embarrassing this was, I really want to share my story so that other people maybe don't feel quite as embarrassed when it happens to them, because it happens to everyone, It's easy to make mistakes and it's easy to get caught up in the moment, especially when these scammers are, again, like Detective Cox was talking about, experts at using your vulnerability against you.
All right, Ren Wadsworth. When you were putting this together, obviously you do your research.